Hello, welcome back to Gray the Gold Witch. Today we're going to be doing messages on reassurance. We're going to be doing reassuring messages. If you're listening to this and things have been tense or you just need some comfort, this is the reading that is meant for you. So blue has always been a very common color for me, so that's what we'll be using. The first crystal we had was lapis lazuli. This always reminds me of books and libraries, and I have no idea why. The second is this angelite crystal that's been with me for a long time. It's been with me through some hard times and some beautiful times. The third, I believe this is lapis lazuli as well, but the hidden message is tap into your magic. So, and then the fourth pile, this is blue calcite and reminds me of the sky. So, yeah. Ponder on these crystals and pick a pile, and I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile one, if you chose the lapis lazuli, then this is your reading on reassuring messages for you. So I said in the intro, this really reminds me of books for some reason. And the word that keeps coming into my mind is la biblioteca. So something about another language, learning another language, something like that could be relevant to you, or even a desire to. So I have a few pre-shuffled oracle cards I haven't seen yet, and we'll look at those for the first reassuring messages. So we have the eagle, sugar in reverse, apocalypsis, and the empty room. Okay, so there's something here that's happening that isn't too good to be true. I think you see something very enjoyable, exciting, beautiful going on, and it's kind of hard to take it seriously in a sense because it feels a little fantastical. Something going on in your life that just feels a little dreamlike, and it's hard to accept that it's grounded in something. And Spirit's really making it clear that this is a lot more powerful than you think it is, and to trust in its ability to make change in your life, to be effective. It's kind of like so yeah, if anything, I think that this is less sugary, less idyllic than you even think. I think there's a lot more power behind this, and grit, and there's an intensity behind this that you're meant to respect. I think this will reassure you though, because I think that it being so sweet and so light, I don't know, just kind of like what's coming to my mind is, okay, like cane sugar versus a hearty steak. Like you're looking for that steak and you're worried. You know cane sugar tastes good, you want it, but you know it isn't what you need. You need the steak. And this is a metaphor. I'm not saying, I am all about vegetarians, vegans. I wish I could do it. I unfortunately need meat, but I try and source it organically. And yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, I think that this is coming to reassure you that this is your steak. This is that substance. This is exactly what you're looking for, what you're worried about happening. And this will be momentous. This will unveil some very powerful things. This will build powerful rooms. This will be powerful in a way that you can't help but respect it. This is something that will serve you, will serve the people in your life. And I think it's important to note that. I think it's important to realize that this empty space you've had is going to be filled up with something so powerful. I think this is something that it'll be hard to attack this, or for people to fight against this, or for there to be resistance because of the power of this thing. And I love the eagle trying to clutch the sun in its talons. That's like the ideal, or like the biggest indicator of power, being able to hold the sun. There's another card in the alchemy deck that's the oil of vitriol, that shows a lion eating a sun. And the card asks, are you the sun being eaten by the lion, or are you like the lion eating the sun? And I think your fear is that this situation is making you the sun being eaten by the lion, the sugar being eaten by those with more manipulative of agendas, I guess I'd say. And you're being told that this is going to be a situation where you are the lion, where this is the lion. And I think this power is something that you see it in so many avenues of life, in so many, I feel like, patriarchal ways, that it's hard to see it in this more feminine way, I'd say, sugary way, and believe that there's this power underneath it. But there truly is. And I want to look into what this power is exactly, what this reassurance is about. What is this power? The Empress. This is believing in feminine power, not belittling it. I think people in your life might be belittling feminine power. And that's so patriarchal. But I really see this power being so underestimated and coming through, and kind of being reminded of Cleopatra and that sort of female dominance and ability to circumvent this male-dominated world and prove those wrong who underestimate her. So yeah, this is very much, you are way more powerful than you think. I think that that's part of this card. This card says something like, you're more powerful than you think, ego child. You can handle more than you think. And I think that this is an example of that. That maybe even because of underestimation from others, you're underestimating yourself. And that feels so wrong. Like, that is such a clash between your soul and the outside world. And I'm so sorry that that would be something you feel. And I think this reading's here to say that's completely inaccurate. You are strong, you are powerful, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And you will prove all of them wrong. And whatever you're doing that others might perceive as sugary, as lacking power, you are going to push through and show them how powerful you are and how the power was hidden beneath. There's those tales of like an old woman who asks for water at a well, and if someone's kind and gives it to her, she turns into this beautiful woman with jewels, like just gifting the person whenever they didn't realize what was in front of them. And I think that that's a big thing here, is people not realizing what's in front of them. And it's important to know that this underestimation has benefits in the fact that when people are like this, I feel like it makes you want to prove them wrong. It makes you want to stand up for yourself and fight harder. And I think that this fire under your seat is really adding to this surge of power that you're having. So let's look, what else do we need to know about these messages, Spirit? We have Temperance in reverse, and 8 of Wands. So there's something you're communicating, and it's about this power imbalance. It's about kind of, I think, the messiness in this world. This is you're talking to the world about powerful energy. And this could even be, can manifest in so many ways, in a micro way, internally, to a macro way where you actually are speaking to community. Death is on the back of the deck. I see you being this peaceful person in the face of serious exchange, and knowing that karma will work out to your benefit. I think something you're really also able to articulate to people is that karma is real, and these people who aren't working for the highest good or are making messes, these people are going to be shown wrong. And I think that you will be able to show how empowering being true to yourself is, even amongst all this resistance. And yeah, I think your throat chakra, the color blue is about the throat. So I see you being able to articulate this, and a lot of respect around you for the way you perceive the world, for the way you help people. You have a lot to be proud of. You are somebody that everyone can't help but respect. And that's because you stay true to your convictions. You stay true to who you are. And it totally makes sense sometimes for people's words and their views to hurt your perception of your power and who you are. And this is a reminder that you hold this power, and other people's way of seeing is imbalanced. And I just see you being able to show this to so many people and proving so many people wrong. So we're going to look at a couple more oracle cards before we close. Pile 1. We have Two-Spirit, Diversity, Sacred Tears, Expression. I think there's something about this world really wanting people to conform. And you're showing how your power is brilliant, just being who you are, and that you are powerful because you are who you are. And for expressing who you are, I think there's a misconception in this world that you need to fit into the boxes and express yourself how you're meant to, or like how people expect you to act a certain way, and that's how you'll have power. But you're showing the truth that by being exactly who you are, being different from the rest, by being expressive and not hiding yourself for anyone or anything, you're showing your true power. And you have so much to be proud of, that you have this power, that you have this internal drive to express your soul and be who you truly are. I'm sorry that we live in a world where that can be villainized. I know it's impossible to escape that sort of environment, but keep yourself out of it as much as possible, because that is this, I think, damaging effect that makes you feel less powerful. It's an illusion. So we have one more. We're going to look at the star cosmic cards. We have the moon. Wow. There's something here about harnessing the power of the moon on full moons, on when the moon is in your moon sign. For me, I'm a Virgo moon, so when the moon's in Virgo, it switches signs every few days. So that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. But new moons, full moons, express your intent, and the universe will work with you. There is power behind that in the unseen, and it will amplify your expression and your diversity and your ability to embrace this power. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, pile 1. This was a really beautiful reading, and I can't wait to read for you more. So I'll see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, pile 2, if you chose the Angelite, then this is your reading on reassuring messages. So yeah, I just love this crystal. There was a time early in my spiritual journey that I was writing this story. It just kept coming to me about this flower who left all the other flowers. She figured out how to walk away with her roots and left all of those who were rooted to the ground, and went on an adventure and got to know the insects around her, and have experiences that she wouldn't have had just staying still. And this was a big part of it. I would go to a coffee shop with this in my pocket and work on it. So, okay, let's look at your oracle cards. So we have the Kiss, the Moon, and the Fire Ant. This is so funny because in that story, the first people she meets are a colony of ants. And the ants in the story seem nice, but then they take her to their queen, and the queen imprisons the flower. The flower meets an ant in the prison who tells her, to be vigilant in those that she trusts. But she meets those wise people along the way that help. There's people, this is interesting, there's people you meet by the light of the moon who are this wisdom, who have this wisdom for you. And you will know who it is. I'm seeing you looking at the moon and also being able to kind of divine from it what the people in your life that are connected to your soul and connected to the moon. I think the moon is something that you very much can manifest with. I think for a lot of psychics, for a lot of people who study this art, this craft, the moon is a big influence on it and is very powerful and an aid. It's a tool. It's a friend to us as we navigate this crazy thing called life on Earth. So I think you're being told the moon has answers for you as well. Anytime you see moon imagery, I'm ridiculous. The moon is right here too. Anytime you see moon energy that's significant, you're meant to notice what's going on there. And since I just said that, and I just noticed the moon on the kiss card, there's reassurance here that there's a feeling that you felt in the light of the moon in the past that you're going to feel again. And I think maybe you've become a little disillusioned by groups of people because you had that ant experience where people seemed great and then they took you to, I'm just thinking about this story of, her name was Daisy. No, her name was Lily. I think I started with the name Daisy, but then changed her name to Lily. So anyway, this was written like 4 years ago. So anyway, I think, but she's able to meet someone who also has had this experience with these people. And I think that's what you find here, is another who has shared the same road. And I think when you see moons, it means you're on the right path to that union. So yeah, the reassurance here is that you're not alone. You're not alone. And Rainier Rilke in the Letters to a Young Poet talks about how if people fail you, keep in relationship with the moon and the stars and the trees, and they will never leave you. They will always be there. And Spirit's really saying that you can have this love. You can have, and you can wait by the light of the moon. I think the moon, if you meditate on the moon, it'll give you confidence in this coming in this bright light amidst your mundane days, something that really feels like you just know that you're meant to meet them. you just know that there's something significant about this, and you realize it pretty immediately. There was someone I met last year who, he's an artist. He moved to New York from Mexico City, and the first time he and I had a conversation, I knew that there was something significant about him in my life, and we ended up being friends. And it wasn't something like this, but you know whenever someone has a significant, you know when someone's significant to your journey, because it happens pretty rarely that you have that initial like, oh, this is this is significant. For some reason I'm thinking of Un Chien Andalou by Salvador Dali, the film, the surrealist film, as well as I think it was Andy Warhol, who it talks about in this card, filmed videos of like 10 minutes of just people kissing, and how art can manifest in a lot of different ways. And I think you'll notice yourself making art you've never made when this happens, doing things you've never, just having insights you've never had. Yeah, so I think the reassuring message here is that this experience is coming in. I think this is something that you have kind of wished on the stars for. And yeah, it is coming in, and you'll know. It'll feel significant the moment it happens, and until then you can lean on your relationship with the moon and stars and trees and ocean, and because that's all just as significant, if not more. So I think you're being asked to instead look at that rather than all of the people who are in this colony that don't have your best interest at heart, because you'll meet someone who's been through the same thing, who gets you on a fundamental level, like the moon gets the stars. Okay, so we have 4 of Wands and the stars, bro. Yeah. And the 3 of Wands. I'm gonna have to cover up so many of these with, I guess I'll cover them up now. And I think I need okay. So I do think you don't have to censor yourself around this person. You can be exactly who you are. So this is just like an event happens. It feels destined and it comes in for you. I'm really like, it's so important to me that my readings are grounded and aren't fanciful, but this really is coming in. That's something, some sort of soulmate, some sort of moment of destiny is coming in, and you've been waiting for it. And I'm here, like Spirit saying, I'm not gonna fail you here. And I guess Spirit with this just wants to confirm that you will have these moments, and finding patience in nature will be what gives you peace on the way here. I think it's easy to minimize nature's effect on us, but it's also easy to minimize these ants that don't have our best interest heart's impact on us. So I think letting go of that and focusing on nature and what holds you no matter what, that's really what's important here. I'm going to ask, is there anything else pilots should know about this? You'll know when you're meant to know. That's so funny. Ace of Swords is all about knowing. I think that also the Nine of Swords in reverse is here. This is an ancient, like, being on Earth and dealing with these things is anxiety inducing, especially when you have psychic sight and can see things coming in, but the world makes it feel like too good to be true. I think that's why spirits like escape this thought process of the societal world and step into the natural world. It reminds me of Caspar David Friedrich. He's this beautiful, beautiful painter who I saw his exhibition at the Met earlier this year. And oh my God, he's the way he captures humans, singular humans in big landscapes, and shows kind of our soul's expression of, like, it feels like our soul is that landscape. It's incredibly vivid and wild, and I think acknowledging that, having the clarity that that's true, is going to be really healing for you. At the time this is posted, I am going to be in Peru. I am hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. It's a 4-day, 3-night hike. And I'm looking at this reading. I mean, of course, this is what I crave. I crave this uniting with someone fated to be in my life, or like, regardless of if it's romantic or just connected, understanding. I mean, those are the best moments in life. And I think Spirit's saying you're going on this nature experience to find peace in your life and get reminded of the enormity of life and the sacredness, the sublime of life. A lot of artists call nature sublime. And I think that that's something. The sublime you look for in these interactions is the sublime you find in nature. That's so cool. That's really, really cool. And yeah, I think that this, I had no idea. Like, I just very impulsively signed up to be in a group that hiked this hike. I'm going by myself and I'm gonna meet people. But yeah, it feels kind of like this message is affirming those kind of decisions to go out of your comfort zone and experience life, not feel like you have to settle with the people around you. Trust the universe is bringing and will tell you who's meant for your life. So we're going to look at a couple more oracle cards. This card got stuck in here. It's about the universe, the soul, and all living things, and all plants, and all of nature. And I think that soul is what you'll connect with, that will give you that fulfillment. We have winged one, trust. Go where your spirit's calling you for this nectar, this soul nourishment. I think that really this reassurance is that you can have this soul nourishment right now, even when you know it can come in other forms. Like, there are other forms you want it to come in. You can have it now. And yeah, 26 might be significant. I am currently 26. And I'm going on this nature experience. So maybe this is reiterating that going into nature, experiencing these things is really gonna heal your soul. Yeah. So let's look at the cosmic oracle cards. Get any idea of what the stars, the planets have to say to you. Oh, a few cards came out. A lot of cards came out. Okay. Got 5. Libra. When this reading's going up, Libra season will be ending / just past. Scorpio. That's next in the line of time. So yeah, I think Spirit's saying this isn't something, these experiences aren't something you have to wait for. This divine union with people, even though that's something you crave. It's something you can find now in other life forms. Gemini. 4th house, that's all about home, stability. And Cancer. So Gemini and Cancer season are late May through late July. Yeah, there's something significant about these dates. Something about a 4-year cycle. Something about living in the moment now. And 4-month cycles as well. 2-month cycles as well. There will be a culmination in Cancer season. And this might be when you're moving places or something has changed in your living situation. You might move somewhere, you might have gotten a new pet, a new animal, you might have renovated, or like something has shifted, and you'll be able to feel just that you're really in the flow. I'm seeing something about a garden too. Okay. That's what I'm getting for you, pile 2. It's an honor to read for you, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you chose this lapis lazuli palm stone, then this is your reading of reassuring messages for you, whatever you need to hear. I love this stone. It says, tap into your magic. So I think that there's something here about don't lose the magic, don't lose that feeling of bewilderment. Yeah, okay, so I have some pre-shuffled oracle cards, so we'll look at them with the eagle. I can hit for another pile. Snake, fish. Nightingale. Scorpion. Turtle. There's so many. Are you going to a zoo or a reserve? Are you having a lot of dreams about animals? Are your spirit guides coming to you with messages through animals? Okay. We also have the hyena and the beaver. Okay, I'm getting a really good vibe from this. Very good vibe. So we have sulfur and the sustainer. Okay. So the reassuring messages for you are that this is gonna totally be worth it. I think you've been wanting change in your life, and you've been wanting new things to happen, new experiences. You're not completely, you would like to move on from where you're at and move on to new heights. And I'm immediately seeing this powerful change happening. You doing something completely powerful, and it changes your life fundamentally. And I think that you are kind of stoic about it when it happens. You're like, oh, yep, that just happened. Now I have achieved this, or yep, this is the new normal. Like, I think that you aren't really celebrating it as much as you can. And this, I think the spirit's kind of laughing at this. Like, you need to be reassured, but also when it happens, you're gonna be like, great. Like, just kind of like, cool, it's good this happened. And you'll really appreciate it. But I think that you always knew it was a part of your story, and it was slow to come in. And I think sulfur is like smelly, but also healing. I think the things that you've gone through, you're just like, or like the experiences you've had, just feeling kind of like you can't share your gifts or what you believe in. You can't, there's something about communication really feeling like you have been looking for an avenue or a corridor to put your opinions out, to speak your mind. And that's coming. And it's coming in a way that I think you're just extremely humble about it. And you're grateful because you knew that you were meant to move out of this situation where you felt stifled. But I do feel like you're at a point where you're like, this is kind of smelly. Like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I get that these circumstances happen to elevate my growth, to teach me the lessons I needed along the way, but it's time for change. And I see that with the sustainer too. It's like, you've taken very good care of yourself amidst this, and you clearly can handle what you're going through. It's just like kind of modernity, like feeling like there's something headed on the horizon, and it's just frustrating that you can't have that space of communication. And I think you're like, I can sustain this, but what the heck? I think you're kind of just a little stoic, a little disillusioned about this, because I see you're very psychic. You see what's coming in. You see these blessings coming in. You feel them with like all of your soul and all of your being. And you're like, why do I have to keep wondering about this? Like, it's time for this to come into reality. And Spirit's saying, this is happening. This is absolutely happening. And we see how stinky, how smelly this situation's gotten for you. And we're proud of you, how you can hold up and sustain yourself during this. But we know it's time for change, and it's inevitable. And I think that's really why you kind of, when it happens, you're like, oh, yeah, this needed to happen. Because you just couldn't stay stagnant in the way you were. You knew there needed to be a shift. Anytime you'd felt like that in the past, there'd always been a shift. You'd always been moved into a new direction. So I think, for some reason, One Direction's coming into my mind. Yes, so maybe something significant happens with One Direction or a member of One Direction when this event is happening. That would be funny, because that's so random. I really see this beauty coming in, but you're just kind of in a phase right now. You're like, why why is this being withheld? It's like there's a date on a calendar that this is happening. This has been written in the stars. This is fated. And it's just, you're ready for it to happen. And I think you feel the power culminating. You feel things getting stronger. And so with other groups, I did not use this, but I'm really feeling like using the cosmic cards. These are planets and stars and numerology that'll just help us get an idea of when this will happen. It's going to happen at a time that, I don't know, just like other things will be happening in your life. And it's not going to feel like this monumental thing when you hear about it. It's going to be like, just feels so seamless in how it slips into your life. I think you shouldn't expect some sort of boom, some sort of fireworks. I think it's going to be like something coming out of you that was always there. And it's beautiful and it's a part of you. And I think that's, Spirit's not saying this to discount how amazing this will be. It's just saying don't put this on a pedestal, because this is part of you. It came from you. This has always been in you, and now it's being reflected in your external environment. And don't feel like this is above you or for some reason outside of my pay grade, whatever. This is part of you. And I think that's really significant. Okay, we have 9. 9 has to do with travel, philosophy. It's, birthing process takes 9 months. Maybe something is coming in that time. We, of course, can point to September here, but I think 9 is more significant. 9 months from when you're watching this, I think something really significant will happen. 7. Wow. So 7's also about philosophical insight, really interior wisdom, going inside yourself to bring out what is there. So yeah, this is definitely, look, also 9 and 7 are descending numbers. So really this is only a matter of time. 6, okay? Okay, let's just open 5. This is ridiculous. 4, 3. So descending up, like, this couldn't be more clear that this is coming in. This is just, it's taking some time. That's so funny. So yeah, this is coming in. The time frame within this, it's like, okay, so 2 months are significant because 2 and 1 are missing. A 9-month cycle is significant. I do feel like these are things you've experienced. The number 8 is significant too because it's missing. Yeah. So maybe something you started 7 months ago, if you can pull back to that time, that could be really significant. Something's happening and it's just a matter of time, and you're really close to it because look at how far you've come. Whoa. Okay, so now we'll look more into what this is. I'm just thinking, tap into your magic. Like, your magic brought you here. Also your faith in spirit and in the universe. Because a lot of this is, you've got to feel it to believe, to to experience it. If you don't believe it, you're not going to have gone through this much of the journey. You would have given up before this. You have something really special that's bringing this forward, that's put this in your path. So let's see more about what it is. 5 of Swords. There's some sort of competitive energy here. Something you've had to fight for, something that has wounded you. It's been difficult. You've really had to fight. But so this is a success within that. We have the Hanged Man. I think you're at a place where you're ready. You've done your reflecting, you're ready to walk away, to stop being tied to whatever situation you're in. You're ready to walk. Two of Swords. I think you're being reminded that when things don't work out, it's not personal. And you're trying to look at the good when things aren't. Like you look at, well, yeah, this sucks, but this will be happening. Like this will work out because of it. And yeah, I think that what's coming in honestly might not have been like your first choice. What I'm seeing is you've had to make big sacrifices for this. You've had to sacrifice opportunities and other things so you could prioritize this. And I think with that knowledge, you know something is going to happen out of it. You have the 9 of Cups. Yeah, whatever's coming in here, you're like, this is a dream come true. Whatever's happening is completely a dream come true. But maybe you're accepting it stoically because you're like, yeah, I've put everything into this. Like, I gave all of myself to this. I gave everything, and this was meant to come in. I'm not seeing, so when I said this isn't your first choice, this might also mean situationally, like you would have rather been able to move towards this goal and keep other things in your life, but you had to sacrifice them. So you've made big sacrifices in the name of this. You've fought, you've fought tooth and nail. So it feels like something that's very much earned. And we have the Hierophant. I see institutional respect. I see the integrity you've had. I see people of high power respecting this, and I'm hearing reaching out. I think whatever this is, your life won't be the same. And I think you knew that. You knew you've had this wisdom, discernment since the beginning of this, your journey towards this. Well, it's always been inside of you, but the outward manifestation of it. And I think you'll really feel the universe's sovereignty, it's power, it's preciousness, and you'll just look up at the sky and be like, wow, you were like this, the universe is what pushed me towards this. It's what kept me going. Like, yes, I'm exhausted. Yes, this was meant to come in for me, but that doesn't mean you're not thankful and grateful and just in awe. It's more so also the universe being like, you remember this was meant for you, and it took a long time to come in. And yeah, I think it's one of those things also, you're like, I feel it so strongly. I've been on this journey. Tarot readings help me stay positive and reassured towards this. And I'm ready to see it happen. And it is. And yeah, I'm thinking about like ancient Greece and Rome and Egypt and the architecture of that time. So that's interesting. I think whatever happens here will give you new opportunities towards new spaces that have that sacredness. I don't know. That's super, I don't know. You're not meant to know yet. I'm also thinking something that happened in September. September, leading to something happening in March. Okay, so to close, we're going to look at these beautiful oracle cards. Sacred Medicine Calling, and it's number 9. Yeah, you've been called to this path. It's a part of you. It's been something you've delicately walked towards, and it's been a healing balm for you as you've gone through it. And I think that's so important to recognize, is even though this hasn't happened, it's been so healing to experience the process. And I see you feeling really connected to the universe and really moved and grateful. And let yourself feel how you feel as this comes in, as things move along, because you might not feel the way you expected to, but you have to let yourself feel truthfully rather than how you think it should be, I guess. So yes, pile 3, this is really cool. I'm really excited for you. This is coming. It's like one of those things where it's like, I want to say soon, but it's so divine timing, so confusing. And I know it's here whenever you meditate, whenever you put your hand over your heart, it's already in you. So that's what I'm getting for you. I'll see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, pile 4, if you chose the blue calcite, then this is your reading on reassuring messages. So we're going to look at some pre-shuffled oracle cards, and then, yeah, we'll see what reassuring messages we have for you today. So we have the black egg in reverse, the seed, the creator, the siren, the eternal child, synchronicity, and ash. So what I'm seeing here is, don't worry, you can't see the full truth in whatever situation you're thinking about. I feel like are seeing it from a lot of different angles and a lot of different ways, and there is a beginning happening here. There is something beautiful, and there's something more optimistic, more youthful you're meant to jump back into in how you perceive this situation. Because I think it's really clear that this is not like past events that you're comparing it to. This is something that it's okay to believe in it. And I think that because of this youthful spirit, this beginning is made. This beginning happens because of this faith and happiness and excitement. And you're not meant to fear that. You're not meant to fear. There's some harsher, upsetting thing behind this, because this is really, truly a beautiful experience that you can trust in. I think you're meant to let go of preconceived notions of what things are meant to look like how typical experiences in whatever arena this is happen. I think it's easy to look at structured, like, this is how this happened for this person, and like, this is how, like, I'm thinking about how when you go to med school, you get a medical degree, or you go to school for a science subject, then you go to med school, and then you do your residency. And there's very exact layers to how, building blocks to how you do this. And for whatever you're asking about, there's way more possibilities. There isn't that cookie cutter path. And you're meant to believe that the way you're going, the way you're flowing, is the correct way. I think as long as you stay in this eternal child, optimistic about whatever comes in, trusting that there will be a beginning, trusting that there will be this excitement, you don't have to fear these. I feel like you have these fears in your subconscious and maybe even in your consciousness that are of things going wrong. And I think you're meant to focus more on signs that are coming in about this, being more alert to when the universe nods you in this direction. And I don't think comparing this to past things is the answer. This is a completely new experience. And yeah, I'm just seeing these fears in black and white, and there's so much color here. And when you've been in this place, it's so easy to question or be nervous, hesitant about these things coming in. But there is a confirmation here that this is headed in the right direction. I think I'm thinking of, I will tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I really think you crave this honesty and transparency in what's happening here. And if you start analyzing it too much, you'll lose that clarity. I think you're really meant to look at this with the eyes of a child who's dreaming big, who's reaching for that, who trusts in the universe. because there is a fear, there is a lack of trust or faith in bigger forces that could bring this in. And you don't need to know how this comes in. You don't need to know when, where. You just need to know that a beginning's happening and it's going to be beautiful because of this youthful hope. And continue to have it. Don't lose it. I think there's something about people in your life really telling you things can't work, or that's not how things work. Just talking, just kind of hurting your dreams or your hopes, and you're not meant to take what everyone says as truth. A lot of people don't know what they're talking about. I think it's always important to question people's intentions and whether you really think what they have to say. If you think what they have to say is coming from a place of fear or a place of love. Because when people come from that scarcity mindset of this won't work, they're projecting this fear onto you that won't help you. So I think going towards people who you really respect's opinion, you respect's life, you see the joy they have, trusting in the opinions of the people you really respect rather than those who cause you anxiety or feel just like misdirections. I think this really is I think there's some people whose words hold more weight than they should in your life, and you're meant to take some of that weight back and take that power back into your hands. So let's look at the tarot cards for reassuring messages. So I'm gonna pull these. There's probably gonna have to be a lot that are covered because these cards have a lot more nude images than you'd think. 8 of Cups, 4 of Cups in reverse, 7 of Wands, Knight of Wands, King of Swords, and 2 of Pentacles. So I think you're worrying about things that haven't been cause for concern. I think something here I'm being reminded of is false evidence appearing real, the acronym of fear. It's easy to get into kind of, these mental limitations or thinking that things are happening just because you think them into feeling real. And Spirit's really saying these negative thoughts, these negative influences will leave. These limiting factors. And I think you'll realize you have to fight to find this confidence and fight to find this belief. And I think once you do, you're going to feel very empowered and like you can really run towards what you're passionate about. And I think be more open to the unknown and what's coming in. And I think it's a balance of, staying logically true to yourself, to the facts of life, but also holding that and holding the hopes and dreams you have and how you can move towards those. There's this saying, the serenity prayer: accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's really what you're practicing, is that courage to hope, that acceptance of reality. So, yeah, I'm really seeing for you a renewed passion with these limitations. You fought these limitations, and I think a renewed burst of energy. I think it's really important you balance this burst of energy with your logical intelligence, balancing these two. You don't want to become imbalanced, but I see that if you hold these two together, you're going to be unstoppable. And yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I think this goes to show that you're going to be in an energy that really empowers you and makes you happy and makes you feel purposeful. And it's because I think a lot of negative voices, internal and external, are getting out of your way. Things that don't serve you. They don't help you. They only cause fear. So, yeah, I do think balance, once you've entered this realm, balancing passion and that knowing of intellect and how much room for passion you have in your life, I think is really the main thing here. Being logical, being reasonable. Like, you don't want to quit your job before you have something. You need to make stable money. You need to make stable income. You need to, have that thought process. You just need to be taken care of. And then you can also hold that and also hold, I can believe in these dreams. I can chase after this. I can do everything in my power to let these blessings come in and really know that they will. So to close, we're going to look at some cosmic cards. The first house, Saturn return, Aquarius and Pisces. Okay, so this would be end of January to end of March. And the first house is, all about existence and being here. And Saturn return is really realizing, I think the Saturn return is really this balancing act that I was explaining, going for your dreams, but also realizing what limitations are there, what you need to account for. I think there's a new project, a new birth, something really beautiful coming into your life. And this is a lesson you'll be learning in Aquarius and Pisces season and onwards. And if you're having a Saturn return right now, or are about to, I see you learning this balance. And I think that foundation of stability with that hope of, and faith in beauty coming in, or the internal beauty, the internal passion you have being reflected outwardly. I see this really happening. So yeah, this is really cool. I think, we have one more. These are, they kind of remind me of ancestor cards. Strawberry Love, 22. Yeah, if you act from a place of love, you can't go wrong. I was talking about acting from love and not fear. And I really see that. But it's very important you act with love for yourself and for other people. You can't properly love other things unless you learn to love yourself. I've never noticed, but this really kind of forms a heart with her hands. There's a song called Ordinary that's playing in my head. It's very famous. Something so out of the ordinary. I think you'll really be counting your blessings and very thankful for this period you're in. So that's what I'm getting for you by the floor. It's an honor to read for you, and I will see you in another reading. Bye.